Starting your own practice is hard for many chiropractors. It's riddled with both struggles and successes. But here at the Chiropractic Philanthropist, we make it easy by having chiropreneurs and entrepreneurs share their struggles and lessons learned in life and business so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. And now here's your host, Dr. Ed Osborne.
Did you know that 51% of adults want to lose weight? This means the market for weight loss is 72 times the size of the chiropractic market, and ChiroThin gives you the ability to tap into and capture part of that for your practice. That's why ChiroThin is the weight loss cash and new patient machine. To get more information or to test ChiroThin in your office, go to chirothin.com and click on the pricing tab. All right, TCP listeners, we have an incredible guest today, and that is Holly Warner. Holly, how you doing today?
Not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, and this is going to be fun. I get to speak to chiropractors, best-selling authors, coaches, mentors, marketers, and now I get to finally speak to you. I've been following you online for probably a year or more, so it's a really interesting person. I think you bring a lot to the table, and I expect this is going to be a really fun and unique discussion. So let's do this. What I want you to do is just share a little bit about yourself. Like, who is Holly Warner? What do you do? And then how are you helping people as well?
I'm a girl who doesn't like to be told no. Nobody wants to be told no, but being told no, like, it pisses me off. So when I first started doing this, I had all of these limitations where, you know, you need to get comprehensive thyroid testing, or you need to have your hormones balanced, or you need this, or you need that. And I saw it, but I wasn't able to do it. And I thought, there's a gap. How do I fill that gap? And then I was hit with my own health issues, and I went, oh my God, like, where do you turn to if you don't know where to turn? So that became the driving force for me, was that I don't want anyone to be told no and then just be left. No, you're normal. That's okay. That's all right. Sleep is optional. You don't need that. Here's some medication. Yeah, you're supposed to feel crazy, because all women feel crazy when they get older. Being bitchy is fine. No, it's not fine, and it's not okay, and none of this is normal. So we fix it.
So, and this is like before we even started. I'm like, how do you like to be referred to? And it's like functional medicine practitioner. I mean, but you specialize. I mean, your zone is like helping people better understand hormones, but also like how hormones, like their hormones, are affecting really, I guess, their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So if I was one of the people who was reaching out to you and I wanted to get some help, like, so I'm turning 48, you know, but I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I mean, it doesn't testosterone like will decrease as we get older.
Mm-hmm.
And is that what the discussion would be? Like, I'd be like, okay, hey, I want to see how, you know, am I actually, like, test this? Am I low? And then you would actually help me. If I was, like, if there was a problem, you would actually help me normalize that, or I guess, quote unquote, normalize it.
So I did my physician's training. Disclaimer, not a doctor, but I did it anyway, because I don't like being told no. You'll see a theme in that one. I did that back in 2010, and I learned about bioidentical hormones. And I really did the research. There's, Dr. Rouzier, there's a couple of amazing experts out there who I've trained under, and realized that there are answers. There's a lot you can fix with lifestyle, with diet, with herbs, mindset, you've supplementation, you name it. We have all of that. But at the end of the day, when we're done being of a reproductive age, specifically women, but men also, we're primitive beings, and our body says, you've served your purpose, it's time to die. So I'm going to start to try to kill you now. I'm going to deplete your hormones, and I'm going to make all of these things happen. Your bones are going to get brittle. Your sleep is not going to be the same. And everything starts to kind of spiral, because every system is connected. So if we optimize those, we bring them back up, we realize our body says, oh, we're still supposed to be reproductive. We're still young. We have a purpose. Let's keep this person alive.
And I mean, so now like part of what you do is it's basically you help people all over the world who are struggling with these things where they honestly,
Yeah.
they may even feel like they're freaking losing their mind.
Some
Uh,
people do.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it really can be that way, right? I
I
mean, this
had a
is,
patient. Yep, absolutely. I had a patient who sent his wife to me and he said, listen, she's batshit crazy. Can I swear on here?
yeah,
Hopefully
yeah, it's
it's an
fine.
adult audience. That'll be fine. He said, my wife is batshit crazy. I'm either going to cheat on her or I'm going to leave her. Can you fix her? And I laughed and I said, okay, send her over. So he paid for all the stuff to happen and we did everything. Fast forward like 6, 8 months and he goes, okay, I can't keep up now. She's awesome. She's happy. No more moodiness. She's sleeping great, but the sex drive like is too much. And I went, okay, let's bump you up now. So, and the thing is that we, that's that whole treat the person, not the paper, because his testosterone was still, it was not optimal on paper. And we had done the bioidentical hormones, but what you see on the paper, this blood serum levels, it's not really accurate. So you can see shitty levels, but feel great. And so I look at it like, if you feel great and everything's on point, I'm not really worried about those numbers too much. Just keep doing what we're doing. But if the numbers are off and you're feeling off, then we explore, okay, what about your sex hormone binding globulin? What about the precursors? What's going on with those?
Yeah.
So it's
So
never a one-off.
well, and that kind of circles us back on really the question that we'd love to ask on the podcast as well. And we ask pretty much everyone who's on this podcast is like words of positivity, affirmation, or, an original quote or some words that you live by. So why don't you drop that right now for docs so they better understand?
All right. So treat the person, not the paper, but also test, don't guess.
And why is it important that we test and don't guess?
Because we can look at something and say you're symptomatic, you've got these things going on, it could be this or it could be that, and we start doing a treatment protocol, but then what if it's the wrong protocol? You're spending all of this money for nothing. And if you did a simple test, it would have shown what was actually going on, and then you could have gone straight for it and dealt with that aspect, or it would have confirmed that no, it's not that at all, and then you would have known to go in another direction.
One of the things that we actually have a saying on this podcast. So, and the saying is that we are all more alike than we are different. I think I can't remember who I stole that from, but I stole it from someone. I'll give them, I'll give the universe credit. And I say that as health practitioners, as chiropractors, as doctors, that we are all more alike than we are different. And one of the things that really connects us together, building a condo really like literally next to me and they're hammering away.
It's not that bad.
So one of the things that connects us is struggle resistance, right? Times of challenge. So is there a time where you basically, you ate a shit sandwich and you were like, look, this was a massive challenge, but there was a gift in it for you. And now you're able to take that gift and you see the lesson and you apply that to either your business or life today?
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where I walked away from a very successful career as director of a worldwide medical facility. And I bounced, done over it. And then kind of went, fuck, now what? I know what I want to do, but every time I turned around, someone was like, no, you can't do that. You're not a doctor. I know you can't do that. You're not a nurse practitioner. No, you can't do that. You don't have this credential, that credential, this designation, that designation. And I got a lot of designations. So I was like, are you kidding me right now? So it was kind of getting kicked down repeatedly. So I built my entire practice from scratch myself by watching the experts and learning and being smart enough to know that I will never know everything, and to always seek out those that I feel might know more and learn from them and take those golden nuggets and incorporate them into what I do every day and never stop learning, which is what got me to here, because those limitations of you're not a doctor, well, now I have doctors that work for me. You're not a nurse practitioner. Well, now I have nurse practitioners that work for me. And so when I can't write a script, they can. If I can't order a blood requisition or a diagnostic, they can. Something needs to be done, I make it happen.
I love this. And, for a lot of the listeners right now, they know that I'm known for two things. First of all, the chiropractic philanthropist, like where we just give value and give back to the profession, to the health professional. The other part of this is I'm also known as the laptop lifestyle mentor, like helping doctors create, online businesses, like information products, do group I don't know, whatever they want to do that's virtual. So the really interesting is that you've done a lot of this, if not I think it's all of this through really like what we would say is like telemedicine. Like you do this in a virtual environment.
Yep.
How did that evolve for you? How did that come about?
So I started my practice in California because I had lived there and made just this amazing group of people. Californians are a breed of their own, right? They're just like, you're by the water. You're so awesome and friendly and happy. Everybody on the West Coast was just like love and avocados. So I thought, okay, this is great. Built my practice and then went, well, other than email, like what do I do? So I opened my practice here, but still was getting all of this referral stuff. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to do like Skype sessions with them, but then see people here. And then when other people found out, CEO of a company, I am busy. It is Ottawa, Canada. There is a snowstorm. I don't have time to travel 45 minutes to get to you downtown in where my office was beside a massive law firm, pay a gazillion dollars for parking, have my session, and then drive way back to wherever they had to go. Can I also utilize like a Skype or a Zoom or a live care or whatever, which is the telemedicine aspect, whether it's the phone call or this, what we're doing right now. And so, well, yeah, you can do it. Sure. Which turned into everybody wanting to do it for convenience sake. And then me going, okay, what are my compliances around this legally? Right. What do I have to have put in place so that I can operate this way? So I follow what the doctors have because it's always going to roll down and trickle down to us eventually.
Yeah.
So I just sort of mimicked that and it just spiraled into, I've got an EMR and I have like live care and I do my sessions are all secure. And now I've shut down my office. I have a home studio and I do everything. I get up and it's, business on the top and sweatpants on the bottom some days. It's great.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I have so many doctors that reach out to me, by the way, that ask that very specific question. It's like, I love the idea, but how do I actually make that happen? So I think this is just, again, one of those unique discussions of like, look, here's someone who actually makes it happen because they don't accept the word no. You made it happen, right?
Yeah.
So, the other part of this is, I mean, basically you said the word is like convenience. Like number one, it's very convenient for you, right?
Yeah.
It must be super low overhead because you don't have your brick and mortar. And it's super, like your client actually gets what they want too, right? They get results, but they also, they can do it from the convenience of their own home. So what was the challenges though, when you or were there any challenges when you said, hey, I want to do this. I want to help people, my zone is in with hormones, like in hormone balancing, but were there any challenges that came up for you along the way when you decided to go full like telemedicine?
Yeah, there was a couple. So getting out of my own head was one of them. You have to realize that if people come for your message, they come for your service. They don't need to smell my coffee breath. It's not important for what I do. I don't need to see you face to face. I'm not doing iridology. I don't need to look into your eyes. I don't need to like touch your skin. I need to talk to you. That's what my role in this is. And the nurse practitioners that work for me, some of them are strictly phone call. They don't even have this interaction. So that portion wasn't necessary. So getting out of my head and realizing that was the biggest step. Number two, there is the odd person that still has the mentality of, yeah, but I want to see you. Like it's almost like they want to be able to reach out and hug you. And getting past that, I still get that once in a while. Like once every couple of months, I might get somebody that hesitates and says, well, I prefer to find someone who does one-on-one in person. And that's fine. Then I'm not your person. And that's okay. You'll be back. They always are. But they're going to go find someone else. They're not going to get the result that they thought they were going to get because they wanted me. And then they come back and they say, okay, so there's no exception to the rule. And I'm steadfast in that. I'll see how it goes. And I say, let's do a little test. And we do this for that 15-minute courtesy call. And I say, like, how was it? Did we connect? How do you feel? And, most of the time they say, oh, that wasn't so bad. Actually, it's okay. I like it. It's a Skype date. Let's do this. So that works. And then of course the compliancy issues where, is it HIPAA compliant? Is it this? Is it that? And there is software out there that doesn't need to break the bank, like Live Care, that you can utilize. And it's secure. Nothing is shared. You don't have to worry about the conversation, which is medical, being whatever is recorded or leaking or whatever the limitations are that they say, oh, it has to be secure. It's all secure. So you're fine. Your charting is done with an EMR, which most medical clinics have moved to anyway. It's all electronic charting now anyway.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I still have a file cabinet with a lock that's downstairs in another room, you know, in an office downstairs. It's locked. It's all, again, compliant. So you just have to baby steps, and you can move away and say like 1 day a week, I'll still see people. And you've moved everybody who absolutely desperately needs to see you to that 1 day a week, and everyone else is telemedicine. And then you start to wean those people. Let's give it a try and see how you feel. And eventually you're completely 100% telemedicine, and there you go.
I love this. You know, I mean, because like even I have two young boys, so 5 and 7 years of age, and fortunately for us, they are very spirited, we'll say. But I mean, like even working with their, we have a naturopath, I guess, kind of / homeopath, but I mean, they're across the country. Right? I mean, like there's more and more doctors who are doing this. And here's the beauty of it too, is like, number one, that like, you don't have to wait 2 months usually to get on a Skype call with someone because of the convenience of it, but they're getting the results, and they're actually getting access to experts like yourself that they may not normally get access to. So I'm going to encourage strongly that more doctors consider that. You know, I want to kind of shift the conversation now to like hormones. So essentially what happens is like you offer like a 15-minute courtesy call, and then what you do is you do testing, right? Based on if it's a fit or if you're going to help that person or whatever the testing might be. How does that work then? I mean, do you send them a blood kit, or did they go get blood drawn where they are? Then you get the results. Like, how does that unfold?
So how it happens is it depends on where you're located. So let's focus on the Canadian one for just ease of use. In Ontario, we have OHIP. All of the labs are covered by OHIP. So it's a standard requisition that your doctor would send you. Outside of it, you have 2 options. I can send you a requisition that's authorized by a physician or an NP in that province, or I can send you what I would like to have tested, and you can bring it to your doctor for them to say no, and then give you back to me, and then have me do the step 1 after all. So there's that. Which really simplifies things. So when you a courtesy call, some people don't even bother with that because they are familiar with me. They follow me online, and they come straight on board. When I have a hormone balancing package, I always throw the thyroid in there because I want the big picture. I test for so much. When you go for a blood draw, the technician's going to be like, oh my God, that's a lot of blood. We test everything because I want all the answers, and I don't want you to have to go back, and I don't want it to cost more. So you have all of that. You have an intake and a session with me. We spend about 45 minutes to an hour. We talk about everything in your intake. I get more details than what you've written down, customize your requisition, email it to you. You print it. You go to the lab that's whatever's the most convenient, whether it's a Dynacare or a Life Labs. You pick the one that works for you. You go, you have your blood draw. They're going to fax me the results. They're going to fax the nurse practitioner or the doctor the results as well. And then you have your session, which is included in the package, with the ordering practitioner. If a script is needed, it's sent in. We use Trutina because they are the largest and most effective compounding pharmacy in Canada. They're fantastic. The quality is there. There's a control, so there's no fillers. It's really good. And then they concierge you whatever that was, bioidentical hormones, desiccated thyroid, low-dose naltrexone for autoimmune conditions, any of that. If you need medical cannabinoid therapy, we have that. We facilitate that as well. Genetic testing, that comes in and that goes to McGill University in Canada or California for the endocannabinoid system. We send wherever it needs to go, we send it, and then everything comes back in-house. And then I send you a treatment plan with all of the supportive protocols and details, and there's a lot.
Wow. That's very cool. I love it. So I want our listeners to take away a couple of things. First of all, you are offering, I hope you're offering, the 15-minute consult courtesy call.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I know so we're going to have a lot of doctors listening to this podcast, but doctors need help too. So that we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
So this is something that I would encourage, if anyone's feeling a little bit crazy, because there's been a little bit of craziness in our household lately with this stuff. And I know a lot of it comes down to, I'm 48, Karen's approaching 50, my wife now. So these are all things that we've been asking ourselves, and why I was excited about this conversation today. Okay, so head to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com. We're going to have a webpage dedicated to our discussion with Holly Warner today. We're also going to have links to the resources that she's providing, meaning you can actually link right through to her website, which is hollywarnerhealth.com, and set up one of those 15-minute consultations should you wish. If you're listening on your mobile phone, go ahead and open the show notes right now, and there'll be a link you can connect right away. Okay, so are you ready? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you into the TCP time machine. So the cheesy machine, you ready?
Ready.
All right. So we're going to take you, I have to figure out, okay, where am I sending you back to? Okay, we're going to put you in the TCP time machine. We're going to send you back to a younger version of yourself. This will be right after you left that, what was it? The medical
Director.
As a medical director. You just left. Okay. You have all the current life and knowledge and experience that you have today. If you went back to that younger self, what would you say to that younger self?
Gosh, you know what? Just keep doing it. Oh, and stop pushing back against doing thyroid, because you're going to end up doing it whether you like it or not, and you're going to rock at it. So stop fighting it.
It was like, even for you, like someone who's like, takes no, like does not take no for an answer. Like that's like, even for you, there was a part of you that just said, hey, I don't know if I can do this.
I was like, maybe I'll do health coaching, or maybe I'll just do nutrition, like the clinical stuff or the herbal side of it. I went really fluffy and hocus pocusy and loved it. And, it was fantastic. And then I kind of went like, what are you doing? You've forgotten this complete other side of what you do. I got away from the bioidenticals, got away from everything. So I think that 2 years that I kind of, and I don't want to say wasted, but just sort of pushed back against the scientific stuff that goes well with what I was doing, I think I would say, stop it.
Go with it. Listen to the voice and follow it. Okay. So last thing we'd like to end these podcasts with is really just a resource, something that doctors or, our listeners can actually go and check out. So what is a book, an Audible book, possibly a podcast, or any sort of a resource that you're like, look, everyone needs to go check this out. It's going to change their life.
Oh God. Oh, probably what is the title of that book? It's either, it used to be on the counter. It's not there anymore. What was it? It's basically like How to Give Zero Fucks or something that. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
There's a couple fuck books.
Is your sky going to fall where you are? Oh my God. It was loud.
Like they're literally building a condo, right? Like right now. And here's the crazy thing. So we're going to go off on a tangent. They only ever start banging around when I start recording podcasts. Like, it's like they know exactly when I'm hitting record. Okay.
It's the rule.
So there was a couple books out there. I know there's one that's like How to Unfuck Yourself. There's a couple of those books. So here's what we'll do. Anyone who's listening, just go to Google and look for the search book.
Careful what you type in though. You never know.
Oh yes. Be careful. Probably not the best advice. All right. So again, I'm going to just drop the link for our website, which is thechiropracticphilanthropist.com. Again, we'll have a webpage dedicated to our discussion today. And I just want to thank you so much for being on the podcast. This has been a lot of fun. I get to speak to some really cool people. Like I said, I've been following you for a while. That's another way to connect with you. I mean, if you're not following Holly on social media, you probably should be, because it's a fun ride. But I want to thank you for being. It's
always entertaining in my corner.
I always think so. Hey, anyone who gets like my attention, like seriously, like, I mean, I'll be going through. So if you get my attention and I'm like, tune in, then you're doing a great job. So I just want to thank you for being on the show today and giving such amazing value.
Thank you.
So you've heard the struggles, you've heard the successes, and this episode is done. But there's still so much more to come and so much more to learn. Head on over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com and sign up for our newsletter, where you'll receive free practice building tips and strategies, including how to market your practice with your very own podcast and so much more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Chiropractic Philanthropist.